I have an extraordinary gift, and so do you. The only difference would be that my life was meant to tell you about your gift, or at least show you that you had it, and hopefully you would bring it to the world now because the world is asking for you to become wonderful and become your greatest self. But sometimes we hide from that, as I did. But that also makes me the best person to tell you that you have this incredible gift. It's why you're in the world now. And it might have been a little difficult for you, but that's really cool because now you'll understand why. And if you go to my messages on any advice for today for last year on the 19th, you will see this message, and I will show you that one because today's message will probably be even more important for you because your life has changed and so has our world. We think things are happening in our lives or the world accidentally, but they are not. And that's what I wanted to give you today. And I put together some wonderful things so that you would understand why I have changed, why I am changing, and why we all must change. Because that is the process of our life. That's what we're meant to do. And each time we change, hopefully, we come into this place of self acceptance because that is the only thing that any of us are really looking for. Who am I? How can I accept myself? What difference am I going to make in the world? How can I sustain a great life? And it's going to be different for all of us. But you have that gift. I'm also giving you things today that you may find challenging to believe because I found them difficult to believe. As we are looking at our lives now and looking at the world, we're finding so many things that are challenging to believe. But this is what came through on this date last year. Because what I've discovered is there is order in our energetic alignments and also in information and knowledge. Um, September 19th, 2024. Here's what's happening in your life and the world. At the same time, we have given you all the information just as your guides have. You might accept it more today. You are evolving individually and collectively, but we wanted you to accept your role in this progression, for it is the only way it occurs. You rely on linear time, but we do not. We gave our messenger a new philosophy to manifest your new life and world, and we did so on this date several years ago. But if you take that message and live conversation we held during your full moon, you will evolve more, as will your world. And so you'll read the message that goes back to 2016 on the same date. You and your world are in a perpetual state of evolution. A simple review of your personal history and that of your world will reveal this truth. Your world today is vastly different from what it was a century ago, just as you have transformed over the past 25 years. When you reflect on your personal history, you can recall the challenging and uncertain times. Yet, you always emerge from those periods with a heightened awareness of your evolution despite the hardships. Your world goes through the same process. In that process, you examine beliefs, held thoughts, ways of being, and the like, discarding the outdated, outgrown ones in order to expand, evolve, and become more than you were. That is occurring in your world right now. And then you will go here and you will see that there is a recording of a session that was held where Wilhelm is just going away, and this was a year ago on this date, and none of you have heard it because that's pretty much how my videos go because it wouldn't have made sense to you. It didn't make sense to me. I have to go back and listen to it, and I said, oh, this is what's happening. We are connected to a grander intelligence, however you think of it, whether you call it God, a greater source, all that is. Infinite intelligence is what Wilhelm gave me. But this is what I wanted to give you today because I could have never told you this would be what I was doing because I ran from it like you may have run from things in your life. We don't really run, but we just deny it. We just don't look at it. Just before I came on to do this, I was listening to a video. It was a tarot card reading on Scorpios from Paul, who has Dove and Serpent Tarot, and I'm going to send him a message because this happens all the time. I'm listening to him, and he's saying, "No, you have something that's a legacy, and it's about to come out now, and you're ready to." I said, "Oh, wow, Paul, you have to say those things because now I have to hear it, and now I have to think, oh, wow, that's true. Now maybe I'll do it." I'm saying that because you've done the same thing. That's what we all do. We are always progressing incrementally in our consciousness to accept more of ourselves, but we all have different roles. We don't know what those are going to be. I couldn't tell you I was going to sit down for 36 years and download a philosophy that could change your life. But that's what's happened. And it's scientifically proven. And the results are you heal and you become in love with yourself. And that's what happened for me. But I wasn't going to tell you because I held back. I'm this introvert. I didn't want to be seen. It was just too much. But then I saw, wait a minute, the world is changing, so they need to know because I do know because Wilhelm has told us all what is happening. And I started last night. I put down something. I'm going to give you another little document because I said there's so much going on in the United States. Why is that happening? I wrote it all down. Wilhelm gave it all to us, so I'm going to show you that now because I'd like for you to have that along with several other documents that I created so you will understand that you're not lost. There's an organization in your life, there's an organization in our world. It looks chaotic, but that's because they're waiting for us to fix it. We are the ones who are doing that. And your power is being tested, meaning your sense of identity and purpose in who you are is being questioned right now. And you're going to decide what you're going to do about that and if you're going to believe yourself. And when you listen to that channeling session from last year, it'll resonate now because, like I said, no one's heard it. Only 134 people had listened to it, and it's been up there for a while. But you'll see most people haven't heard what's on my YouTube channel because, again, it wouldn't have made sense, or you wouldn't have believed it because I didn't believe it. Because what I downloaded was all in order. There's a universal order that we are all part of, and you have an individual role. And when you figure that out, in terms of your DNA, your energetic code, then things change in your life and then change in our world. But let me show you the document so as you're experiencing, and we're going to see more of this weekend because we're coming up to the new moon, and that's when it's the best time for us to energetically set our new intentions, and you're probably feeling like you want to do that. And you're feeling the stress of what's been going on, and you're wondering why there's so much discord and why there's so much anger and why are these violent things happening everywhere? Because you haven't loved yourself enough. That's all. It doesn't matter who you are and what you've done. Because when you love yourself, you're feeling fulfilled. You know there's not that feeling of I'm lost anymore. You know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And for me, that's just happening today. So you have no excuses. I'll be 75 November 2nd. See, because when you do this work, what happens? You start to reverse everything. And that's exactly what happened. Now, and the other thing Paul said, I love him so much. He said, this person, he was talking to me. He said, they know they're not going to see the fruition of this while they're still alive, but they know that it's going to leave a legacy. I wrote that so long ago, and he's just repeating everything because there is this energetic connection to everything within us and within our consciousness. Everything is consciousness. Why do you think we talk about mindset so much? Why have we keep studying neuroscience? But the other thing that happens when we develop something new or a new skill or a new ability within us, or when we see it in someone else, it's difficult for us to accept that. In the Wilhelm channeling sessions, I'm going to tell you this because this is what they wanted to warn me of. In the channeling sessions, they would keep bringing up Roger Bannister. And I thought that was really prophetic because Roger Bannister was this guy, this British guy, a runner, who was the first person to run a sub 4-minute mile. Because before that, humans, we didn't think that was possible. But then he did it. And then we looked at it and said, oh, now we could do that as well. That's to tell you that your only limitations, all of us, humanity, humankind, are just what we think is possible. We can look at the world now and think, we can't change this. And I'm saying, yeah, you can, because Wilhelm gave us a way to do that. And I've said that so many times, and people look at me and say, that's just, you're out of your mind. Except I've proven that it's true because it's all energetically aligned. All the changes that are happening in the world are energetic global shifts and planetary alignments that have happened over centuries, over eons, as long as we've lived, except humans will shift that in different ways when they live, and we're in that period now where we're deciding how we're going to shift it within us first. That's what has to happen. But we've got to own ourselves. And so I can't help anyone else unless I own myself, and this was really difficult, and that's why I'm talking about it today, because no one understood me. I didn't understand me. You don't understand yourself either, because it's still coming, it's still growing, and it's a daily self-acceptance, and I sat down and wrote it every single day. And now I know that it works, which is why I guarantee all of my work. But first of all, I don't want you, I'm not doing this so that you come into the work. I just want you to be aware of what's possible. You never need to struggle or suffer. I've said that so often because I did it for a long time. I've been doing it for years. I had something when I doubted what I had because I didn't believe myself, just as you don't believe yourself fully. And so I had an Akashic Records reading done 4 years ago, almost five now. And I said, because I need to understand, did Wilhelm really give us all of this? Could this be happening? And they said, yep, that's your brain. That's who you are. That's what you're supposed to do. And then they said at the end of it, take the path of least resistance. And that's what I'm saying to you. I didn't listen though, because the path of least resistance would be doing the thing that feels natural to you, that feels innate, that you enjoy, that you love. But the only reason we don't do it is because we've been talked out of it. We were told that this is not what we should do. We've been programmed to something, and that's what happened for me. I was never going to talk about sitting down and receiving some cosmic guidance or information that didn't make sense. And so I hid it. I hid it for decades. It was only other people who brought it out. But what you'll see in all the documents that I've had analyzed now, they're all organized. It's all energetic. And it uses neuroscience. It uses cognitive behavior training. And that's what I was receiving. Then I discovered I had some other ability to access information out of time that was related to what is occurring in our world now. And that is the document I put together because I knew that a lot of people, especially in the United States, are looking at things and why are we so upset? It's because you're trying to heal, all of us. And the United States is just helping the world do that. I will go through this because not many people will probably read this, but I'll leave the link so those of you who do want to read it, you'll get a greater understanding and go into more depth with it. But this is what's coming up, and I did it before because I knew there's a timing with everything. Um, I'll explain that in a second. As we approach the new moon on September 21st, 2025, the United States is experiencing unprecedented volatility. And if you're feeling and it intensely in your own life, there's a reason. The Wilhelm messages received through automatic writing since 2020 reveal why America's upheaval is actually triggering your personal transformation and why that's exactly what needs to happen. You are not falling apart, you're breaking through. If you've been feeling unusually challenged, emotionally volatile, or as if your life is being restructured without your permission, Wilhelm has a message for you. You are in the process of being restructured through the destruction of the old you. This is happening because you've done something, not because you've done something wrong. It's happening because you're ready for something magnificent. Wilhelm explains that the global restructuring, while centered energetically in the United States, is fundamentally about your personal evolution. Every challenge you're facing, every old pattern that's resurfacing, every relationship that's shifting, all of it serves one purpose: to cause you to love yourself and in turn all others as you are all one. Why your personal struggles matter to the world. You are causing the world to evolve. Yes, we mean you. This isn't metaphorical. Wilhelm reveals that whatever choice you make for yourself, you are making for all. When you choose to face your fears, heal your wounds, or embrace your authentic self, you literally shift the collective consciousness. Your personal healing creates ripples that extend far beyond what you can see. Consider this: every time you choose love over fear, acceptance over judgment, or authenticity over conformity, you make it easier for others to do the same. You become what Wilhelm calls a living demonstration of evolution. The hidden gifts in your current challenges. Wilhelm shares a powerful story about Roger, who spent years doubting his purpose as a teacher because he hadn't achieved what he considered great accomplishments. Yet, Wilhelm sent him specific people, Gibran, Alan, and Stan, each mirroring his own struggles. Through helping them, Roger discovered something profound. His pain had purpose. Every challenge he'd overcome equipped him to guide others through similar terrain. The same is true for you. Wilhelm assures us the restructuring you are experiencing will be worth it, as was Roger's pain. What you are actually gaining: freedom from generational patterns. You carry a generational belief of which you are unaware. Wilhelm explains this restructuring period is breaking chains you didn't even know you were wearing. The anger, fear, or inadequacy you feel isn't even yours, it's inherited. As these patterns surface and dissolve, you're not just healing yourself, you're healing your lineage. Discovery of your true power. Love is the most powerful force that exists. It is powerful because it does not restrict its energy. When you release your judgment, especially self-judgment, you tap into this unlimited power. You discover that what you thought was weakness, vulnerability, sensitivity, emotion, is actually your strength. Authentic self-expression. Roger described experiencing an unexpected outburst during a family call about social issues, shocking himself with his passionate response. Wilhelm explains, when you discover your reason for being alive, you will also find your passion, and it may come out forcibly and startle you. The restructuring is removing the filters that kept you playing small. Your authentic voice is emerging, and while it might feel uncomfortable initially, it's the voice the world needs to hear. Enhanced intuitive connection. You each could uncover your sources of anger if you follow the wisdom of your guides. It is always there, but you tune it out. As the old structures dissolve, your connection to inner guidance and strength, you, um, your, as old structures dissolve, your connection to inner guidance strengthens. You're developing the ability to trust what you hear within, even when it challenges conventional wisdom. Navigating your personal restructuring, a practical guide. These are some tips for you to go through that you will see that will give you so much greater understanding. And then the personal promise of this transformation is that you will come to these places: complete self-acceptance, embodied wisdom, purposeful living. We're never done with that because it's always changing. Now, this is the part that's really fascinating. They brought up the feminine rising within you. Masculine energy at times finds it difficult to be vulnerable. You are all embodying your feminine nature at this time, and in doing so, you evolve. This isn't about gender, it's about qualities. The restructuring is activating your receptive, intuitive, creative, and nurturing aspects. If you've been feeling more emotional, more sensitive, more open, this isn't weakness, it's evolution. You're developing the full spectrum of your human capabilities. Your role in America's transformation? Why does Wilhelm say the United States is the epicenter? Because America embodies the collective human challenge. Whether I choose for me or the common good. As an individual, you're answering the same question daily. When Wilhelm says the United States would lead the way in this restructuring, it means that Americans are consciously or unconsciously voluntary to process humanity's collective shadows. If you're American, you're not just healing personal wounds, you're participating in a massive collective healing that affects the entire world. But even if you're not American, you're still part of this. The energetic waves rippling from this epicenter affect everyone. Your personal work contributes to the global transformation regardless of your location. And then this is information about the coming new moon on September 21st. And I have several other documents that I will give you that will show that this was all orchestrated and it came through me. And it was shocking to me as well. And I just want you to be surprised, because when we come into this world, we're supposed to do something new. We're not supposed to do the old stuff. But also what happens is that we become afraid. And I was afraid most of my life. And then we become afraid collectively, and that's what's been happening across our world and across our country. when I first started doing this, and I'm going to just give you this because I want you to have all of it. Um, I didn't want to do channeling, live sessions, or all that. I go, why would I be doing that? And it came out in the first one. They went home convincing me. Says because you're going to see billions of people across the globe who do not know who they are, and we've given you the information so they would know. I doubted every aspect of that. And then they kept saying it in the channeling sessions. Well, we're showing you the example. He's going to be 75 and he's healed everything. Why can't you believe it? That's what would happen. I would hear that all the time, and I didn't believe it, even though I'm seeing the results of it. But when you go through this document, you will understand, because I'm leaving all the links of the things that I put together to show you the organization of your life, that you're meant to be here. There's something for you to do no matter what you're experiencing. And as you move through it, you heal and you become happy and abundant. And I know this because this is what I have moved through and received all of this information so that I can give it to you. But I'm saying this because next week you will see everything is changing in my life because where I ran from this work, I have to own it because it's the most extraordinary thing that's ever happened. But that also makes it difficult for others to believe it because you've never seen it before and because you haven't experienced it, you don't think it's possible. Then other people will think, wait a minute, you can't receive this guidance from this spiritual or this kind of information. And then you start to think, wait a minute, everything is consciousness. Where does it come from? There's the consciousness that we learn everything from the time we're born. I just did it in a different way. But the difference is I lived it. And I know that it works because I experienced it. So I became the best ambassador of Wilhelm's information. But now as you go through it, you'll see what's there. And the more of us who do it, we'll start to change things and we'll stop forgetting how powerful we are. We'll stop forgetting that we have the ability to change things in our world or in our countries because it's within us. We've just been taught to be inadequate. That's one of the messages you'll see as well. And as you go through the messages that are on the website today, you will see something else that it was all aligned to come through, and it's this. And this is it. More of you will pay attention today. And it goes through all of the years from today, and then you go back to 2008 because we're in a cycle then, and so you'll probably find your answers even in this message. Everything that comes into your life experiences offers you the opportunity for evolvement and expansion. It is only your particular judgment of either good or bad that obscures this fact from you. And that's something that I didn't know when it came through in 2008. I do know it now, though. And that's for all of us. We're always growing and evolving. But I had to become honest because no one knew what I was doing this entire time, and I didn't either. That I had developed this ability to receive information, and it's completely organized with the changes of the universe, and that's what was leading or led to my particular healing, and that's what can happen for any single person. But I know people won't believe it, but I have to move on because the other thing that happens, we get stuck. I was stuck because I'm thinking, and you'll hear all of this probably in that last session, because I could never charge enough money. I could never know, because how did this happen? Because I absolutely know I've been given the answer to your question, whatever it might be, because I lived it. And I worked it. I wrote it all down. Anybody who's seen all the writings. And I spent a long time doing it. There's no amount of money anyone could pay me for this information because I couldn't put a value on it. It was my entire life. How do you do that? But what I do know is that I care about the world, and I care about you, and I care about people. And so those people who want to live this wonderful life and help change things, then this work is for you. Nothing's going wrong, has gone wrong in your life. You're just waiting to start to own yourself. And today and this weekend might be the time that you decide to do it. And I'm so grateful for the people who have joined because you're adding to the energy and that ripple effect that we're going to put into the world. And this is the thing I want to send to everyone because so many people have never known what this Wilhelm work was, what the channeling was, and what I was doing because it never made sense. They will understand it today. I was given an extraordinary gift to help everyone else discover and own their extraordinary gift because everyone has it. See you soon.